When an INTJ decides to rebuild their life, they do something that looks like self-destruction. They disappear. Messages go unanswered. Plans get canceled. Entire social circles that once defined their world dissolve without a word of explanation. To anyone watching from the outside, this registers as collapse, depression maybe, a breakdown. But what is actually happening is far more deliberate. The INTJ is not falling apart. The INTJ is clearing the workbench. The first reason the INTJ goes quiet is the most counterintuitive. It is not about hiding from criticism. It is about protecting the plan from other people's opinions before the plan has had time to solidify. There is a well-documented psychological mechanism at work here. When a person announces an intention, tells friends about a career change, describes the person they intend to become, the brain registers a small reward. Researchers have identified this as a form of symbolic self-completion. The act of sharing a goal produces a feeling of progress that is almost indistinguishable from actual progress. The dopamine arrives early, and the motivational pressure to follow through quietly drops. But the INTJ faces a second layer that most people never reach. An INTJ mid-rebuild is holding an internal model that is still under construction, fragile, detailed, not yet stress-tested against reality. The moment that model is spoken aloud, it becomes available for other people's input. And other people's input, however well-intentioned, is noise. Doubt is introduced. Alternative approaches are suggested. Questions are asked that have not been answered yet. Each piece of unsolicited advice forces the INTJ either to defend the unproven design or revise it to accommodate a perspective that was never part of the plan. Both outcomes waste the same scarce resource: internal focus. So the INTJ withholds, not out of secrecy, out of the recognition that a plan is most vulnerable precisely when it is newest, and that premature exposure invites premature opinions that can distort what was never meant to be co-authored. The second reason is physiological, and it is the one the INTJ feels before they can articulate it. Being observed changes how the brain performs. The research here is extensive and consistent. Acute stress, including the subtle chronic stress of knowing other people are watching and evaluating, triggers the release of stress hormones that rapidly impair the prefrontal cortex. This is the region responsible for exactly the capacities the INTJ leans on hardest: long-range planning, working memory, inhibition of distraction, and the kind of abstract reasoning that turns a vague intention into a structured sequence of actions. Under an audience, the top-down cognitive functions degrade. The brain shifts control toward more reactive, habitual processing. An INTJ who could solve a problem cleanly in solitude becomes less capable of the same problem when someone is watching. And crucially, the INTJ can feel the difference. The mind that normally runs a tight, coherent simulation of the future begins to fragment under the social load. There is a practical consequence here that most people miss. The INTJ does not withdraw to escape judgment. The INTJ withdraws to restore the cognitive environment that their best thinking requires. Solitude is not a preference in this context, it is a technical requirement, the only condition under which the prefrontal machinery can run at the level the rebuild demands. The silence, then, is not antisocial, it is the removal of a variable that measurably degrades performance. The third reason is about control, in the most precise sense of the word. A rebuild is, at its core, a chain of decisions that must be made in sequence and defended against second-guessing until the evidence arrives. The moment the INTJ brings other people into the process, shares the direction, explains the reasoning, reveals the intermediate steps, They surrender a portion of sovereignty over the outcome. This is not paranoia. It is an accurate reading of how social systems behave. Other people, once informed, develop expectations. They offer opinions. They feel entitled to progress reports. They form judgments about whether the rebuild is working, using their own standards and their own timelines. Every one of these inputs becomes a force acting on the INTJ's decision-making, a small, constant pull away from the internal logic and toward external accommodation. This is what real independence looks like in practice, not the absence of help, the absence of any external party with the standing to derail the work. The INTJ relies only on themselves, not because they distrust everyone, but because self-reliance is the only arrangement in which a long, uncertain transformation can proceed without being constantly redirected by other people's reactions. The fourth reason is the simplest to state and the most revealing about how the INTJ mind works. The INTJ sees no value in describing a process that has not yet produced an outcome. Talk about intentions is cheap. It costs nothing to say what you are going to do. And the INTJ, whose entire orientation is toward what is real and what works, regards the announcement of a plan as less than meaningless. It is a small act of self-indulgence that substitutes speech for substance. What the INTJ actually values is the finished change, the result, the evidence. When the rebuild is complete, the outcome speaks for itself. There is nothing to explain because a demonstrated result needs no explanation. Showing a finished transformation is logical. Narrating an ongoing one is inefficient. This is why the INTJ's return, when it comes, is so understated. There is no announcement because the announcement would be redundant. The person who reemerges is the evidence. The change is visible in the way they operate, in the decisions they now make, in the calm that comes from running a system they designed themselves. Words would only dilute what the result already communicates. For the INTJ, silence during the process is simply efficiency applied to communication. You do not spend energy explaining what you are doing. You spend it doing it. And when the work is done, you let the work do the talking. The INTJ who rebuilds in secret is not hiding from the world. The INTJ is honoring the way their mind actually works. They go quiet to keep premature opinions away from a plan that has not yet hardened. They go quiet to remove the audience whose presence measurably degrades their thinking. They go quiet to keep the work answerable to no one but themselves. And they go quiet because a finished result, shown without commentary, is worth more than 1,000 announced intentions. The rebuild happens in the dark, because the dark is where the INTJ sees most clearly. Not the dark of avoidance, the dark of focus, the dark of a door deliberately closed so the work can begin.